Welcome back to KP's Kingdom, Cooking with KP, and today I'm going to show you how to make my family's sauerkraut. And this recipe was left to me by my late father, and it was in his book, and he explained it in great detail, where they used to, in the tenement buildings in World War II, used to congregate on a weekend and make up sauerkraut. Okay, you're going to need all of this stuff. Okay, I'm not going to go through it. You can just follow along with the story and learn how to make your very own sauerkraut. We need an airlock. We're going to buy that from our local brewery supplier. We're going to need a nice big jar with a big lid. We're going to need a drill bit and of course a drill. Now the hole I need to drill is 12 millimeters. Our grommet is going to sit in there nice and tight, which is exactly what we want to do. Our airlock is going to go straight through just like that into our lid, and we are in business. We're getting ready to go. Right, put on a mask because we're going to be playing with some chemicals right now. We've got some teaspoons, we've got some jugs, and here we've got around about 2 teaspoons worth of sodium metabisulfite. Okay, don't breathe this stuff in. It's a sterilization liquid. I'm going to fill up a used water bottle, just like I'm doing right there, and we can keep using this for a little bit of time. Right, so I'm just going to use a funnel. Keep that mask on. We don't want to breathe this stuff in. It's not good for you, but it's a great sterilization liquid, and it's exactly what we want to do. Right, anything left over, we're going to put that straight into our 3-litre jar, just like that. I'm going to put the lid on, airlock and all, and we're going to give that a good swirly, just like that. Make sure everything is nice and clean. Make sure we've got no nasty bugs, because we're going to be doing some fermentation. Right, here I've got my little scales, my MasterChef scales, because of course I'm a master chef. I'm going to weigh my bowl. My bowl is going to come in at 370 grams, believe it or not. A little bit of white vinegar, give that a little bit of a wipe out, just like that, just to make sure we don't have any other oils or whatever in there. Right, we're going to get 2 Granny Smith apples. We're going to peel it, just like that. And this might sound weird for a sauerkraut. This is what they used to do, World War II, Lithuanians in London. We're going to grate that apple up, just like I'm doing right there. Get it down towards the core. We don't want to get any seeds, of course, in there, but we want to get as much apple as possible. A nice big head of cabbage, and I'm just simply going to cut this straight in half like that using a nice big knife. And I'm taking my time, being nice and careful due to my MS, and yeah, anything can go wrong at any time with this absolutely crappy disease. Take these outer leaves off just like that, and look, I'm going to toss those ones straight into the bin. Right, here I've got a mandolin, and I'm going to start shaving off my cabbage, just nice and fine. Now, if you're a regular viewer to the channel, you've seen me do this a couple of times before, making salads and making a real quick sauerkraut. We're going for the real deal on this one. So just keep shaving that off. I've probably made mine a little bit finer than most people would, but there you go. We've got our cabbage all beautifully finely sliced, just like that. Okay, now I'm going to reweigh this. Now there's a reason for that, because we have a little bit of computation that we need to do, and I've measured that out, and it comes in at 2070 grams in total. I'm going to take that minus the bowl. I'm going to end up with about 1700 grams worth of cabbage. Now I need to work out 2.5% of that. Use a calculator, use your phone, Google it, whatever you want to do, but it's going to work out to be, we're going to need 42.5 grams worth of salt. Now try and use a kosher salt if you possibly can. If you don't, just use the cooking salt. It will work absolutely fine. Right, so we've got 42.5 grams of salt in a little bowl there. Now, I'm simply going to start sprinkling this over, right? The salt, just sprinkle a little bit over. I've got some gloves on, getting in there, and of course, my bowl is too small for the amount of products I'm trying to work with. Right, give it a bit of a stir, add a little bit of salt. Don't use all your salt all at once. Use it sparingly throughout this whole process. Give it a bit of a toss through, bit of a mix through, just like I'm doing there. And look, if you get some on the bench, well, that's okay. That means you're doing it right. So add a little bit more salt, give it a bit of a stir through, and I'm only going to be using about half of that salt at the moment. Cover it for about 15 minutes and bring it back out, give it a bit of a stir, and of course, as you can see, I've changed gloves because I've let it sit for a period of time. I don't want to sit around wearing gloves all the time. We're going to give that a little bit more saltage, and we're still using that 42.5 grams of salt. We're just distributing it nice and evenly. So just give it a little bit of a sprinkle, give it a stir, and every now and then give it a cover, let it sit. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want to layer, we'll do the layer version where you put a little bit of cabbage in, a bit of salt, cabbage, salt, in layers like that. You can, but you won't get the nice even distribution of the apple, the salt, and the cabbage all together. Right, as you can see, that has reduced dramatically in size, and you can see that the juices of the cabbage are already starting to come out, as well as the apple. Okay, so I think I'm getting pretty close to getting ready to put this in my little fermentation jar that we have created. I'm going to leave it another 15 minutes. So here's my fermentation jar that I've made. I've still got sterilization liquid in there. Give that another swirl, just like that. Now, another way to do this is you can go out and buy a croque. I'm showing you a cheap way to do it. Croques, they're not that cheap. They do cost you a fair few bucks. This thing I found at the in-laws place, of course, and I created my own croque for around about $5 instead of $100 upwards and plus. Okay, so we're going to start adding in all of our cabbage, just like that. Just start putting it down. Now I'm using my muddling stick that I would normally use for making mimosas or a cocktail, and I'm just going to press down that cabbage as it is, and it is amazing at how much cabbage it actually takes to actually get only this far. Okay, so push all that down as you can, just like that. Very, really simple. And of course, I'm doing this in winter, which is not the optimal time to try and make sauerkraut. I'm going to use some of the other outer leaves that I have a little bit left over. I'm going to put those on top, give them a bit of a push down, and it's going to add a little bit of a barrier just to help things stay a little bit more sanitary. Okay, we don't want any bugs getting in there at all. We are doing fermentation after all. So let's put those down just like that. In goes, or on goes our lid, just like that. Make sure it's nice and tight. And here I've got that little bit of sterilization liquid, and I am going to fill our airlock up with a little bit of that, same as that we would be doing with making beer. So fill your airlock up to the required level. There will be a little mark halfway up the out and in, just like that. Really simple, should look something like that, and we are going to leave that for 6 weeks. Okay, so every now and then while that 6 weeks is going on, you'll hear a little bloop, and that'll be the gases coming out from the fermentation of that cabbage. Right, time for final bottling. I've got myself a nice big mason jar, and I've just poured sterilization liquid over a fork and a pair of tongs, and into our mason jar. We're going to give that a swirl, make sure we've got any bugs out of it, and all we have to do now is transfer our beautiful sauerkraut, which is 99.9% done, straight into that mason jar. Not too hard to do, and if you can't reach the bottom of that jar, just use a fork and make sure you get all of that beautiful brine over the top of that cabbage, straight like that. Right, give it a bit of a press down with a fork, and that's our sterilized fork, of course. And all we're going to do now, we're going to close that off and leave that for around about another 1 to 2 weeks, or until we think it is fit. And believe me, at the moment it's pretty much ready to go. Love to see you try and make this one at home, folks. It is easy, it's fun to do, it's a little bit of a science experiment, it's a little bit of history, and the end product is amazing. Thank you so much for watching this video, really do appreciate it. If you like this video, hit that like button, it gives me confidence, should make you feel warm and fuzzy too. Don't forget to hit that notifications bell to be notified every time a new video goes up. Please share this video with all your friends on all platforms of social media. We are trying to get the KP's Kingdom out there. In the meantime, if you want to learn, I forgot, leave a comment. Love reading, love responding to them. But if you want to learn how to make a traditional type European food just like this one, well, you need to come and join the family. And it's a big one, my family. Hit that subscribe button and you'll never miss another one of my videos again. I'm going to leave this for about another week, and I'm going to eat my sauerkraut, and I will catch you next time. Bye.